Jeremy here, your mindset mastery and peak performance relationship authority expert dude. The guy you want to call when things are breaking down. And today we're going to unpack the worst question you can ask yourself. And Simon Sinek, in his opinion, can kind of go take a hike because he's a marketer who made good on a TED Talk and spun it into a bunch of stuff. But he's just regurgitating other people's material. It's not like things he figured out himself and actually applies into his life and into reality. And he doesn't really make, interventions. You can spout all kinds of platitudes, and it sounds great. But when rubber meets the road and you've really got to affect change and you've got to do it now while the person is melting down, there's one question that will pretty much always get you in trouble. And if you know me, I'm not an always guy. I don't use the word always. Almost never. It's like even that, I don't say I always never say never. Like always and never, those are intensifiers to anything. Not a big fan of either one. So when I say this question pretty much always gets you in trouble, this is what it is when we ask the question, why? Now, Simon Sinek has a book, his TED Talk, Start With Why. But here's the problem. If you're in a negative place, if you are angry, if you are at the effect, if you are in unresolved trauma, existential wounds, if life is dark and brooding and short, if you are anxious and overwhelmed, asking why spins a bunch of useless stuff. Why is it so hard? Well, your brain is wired to answer that question. And you ask, why is it so hard? Your brain's going to give you a whole list of stuff. Doesn't matter if that stuff is actually true or not. Doesn't matter if that stuff is actually appropriate or relevant. Your brain is just going to throw you those answers. Why is this so hard? Why am I so stupid? Why do I make it so difficult? Why do I want this? Right? And you get these answers. It's a pipe dream. Why is it so hard? Because you're stupid and you're weak and you're ineffective and you are lazy and you're too old or you're too young, and you'll get all these answers that aren't productive. So when you ask why, especially when somebody is in trauma, your kid just did something you told them not to do. Why did you do that? I don't know. They don't. They're not conscious of it, and the fact you're putting so much anger and so much energy into, why did you just do the thing I told you not to do? Are you stupid? Yes, I am stupid. Like those ideas link up in their heads. So asking why is great if you want to spin a story and you want to keep somebody at effect and you want to keep them just looping and looping and looping. But if you want results, if you want to move your life forward, if you want to get traction, you don't ask why. You can do that maybe later if you even need to. The real questions, there's two, is you want to ask these and alternate back and forth. What do you want? What do you need? What is going on? What is ... And then you follow up with, and how do I ... How do I achieve that? How do I create that? How do I build that? How do I manifest that? How do I make it happen? So those are your real power questions. What do you need and how are you going to get it? That's it. Why? Well, why do you want that? You know what? Something happened and it didn't work out the way you wanted. Why didn't that work out? What did I need to do different to make it work out? Those are going to give you two very, very different answers. Why didn't it work out? Because God hates me. Because the man is against me. Because the universe is hard. Because random happenstance and chaos. Because I'm stupid. Because I'm ugly. Because I'm dumb. And you can spin all these justifications versus, what can I learn from this and do better next time? How can I use this to improve myself? How can I use this to grow? And so by using more intelligent questions, more strategic questions, you can begin to change trajectory in life, right? I have a client, and his son is 6 years old, said some things, and got school psychologists involved and taken out of school for a couple of weeks, and everyone's pushing, let's medicate him. Dad's like, why is he saying this, and why does he feel this, and is this really true? Is he really going to act on what he's saying? And so Dad's in a bunch of why questions, and he's blaming himself, and he's blaming, the situation, and why isn't the school more involved, and why aren't they trying to solve this with me? Why do they want to medicate him? And when we first talked, like as I was doing my intake with him, it's all these why questions. And I'm like, dude, none of that matters. What do you want? Well, I want my son to be confident and to be stable and to be supportive. Cool. Well, we can figure out how to do that. Why is the school not proactive? Because they're protecting themselves from lawsuits. And instead of resolve it, push it out, medicate it, control it, they have a protocol that's designed to protect them. It may or may not be in your son's best interest. That's tertiary. That's secondary to what they want, which is CYA, cover themselves. So asking why are they the way they are? Because it's in their best interest and it makes sense for them and their point of view. But then my son's not going to get what he needs. No, he's not. Because that's just the way that it is. So you can sit there and why and spin and spin and spin, but my question to him was, well, what do you want? Well, I want it to be this way. Cool. What would that give you? What would that give him? What would that make possible? What would that prevent? See, we get into these what questions. Dad knows his answers, but he got locked into this frame of why, and now he's stuck and he's spinning his wheels. Hey, Lorraine. Hey, Paul. Hey, Bill. Nice to have you guys join me. Didn't say hi when you came in. Sorry. But it really is, why is this? Do you want results or do you want to be right? Because we can pull whys and we can pull that apart and we can separate and separate. Hey, Michelle, nice to have you. Thanks for the feedback. Great insight. Thank you. Yeah, I see this with people all the time, right? And why is this? And why is and why is and why is? Do you want to have results or do you want to spin? Because I know what why gives you. It gives you story and it gives you justification. It gives you rationalization, but it doesn't help you. And so by getting Dad to focus on what he wants and how to get there, what's going on and how is it manifesting, right? So he's saying certain things. Well, it's good to know, and I've got, decades of experience with this. Mom and Dad aren't together. The biological parents aren't together. Mom is remarried, Dad is remarried. Dad and new wife have just had a new baby. 6-year-old, what's wrong with me? Why aren't my parents together? See, even 6 years old, why aren't my parents together? Why does my brother get to have his parents together, but I don't get to have my parents together? What's wrong with me? Why am I this way? Why are my parents this way? And he's spinning and he's spinning, and he doesn't have an answer at 6 years old. So maybe everything would be easier for everyone, and maybe life would be better if I wasn't here anymore. It makes sense in his 6-year-old brain. And he hears people talking about it on television and in the media and on the news. And that's a possible viability. I mean, I could just be not here alive anymore and that will solve everybody's problems. That makes sense. He's trying to provide and trying to protect and trying to be a helpful masculine person. But son, this isn't about you. Mommy and Daddy were not great together. There is one amazing thing that happened in our relationship. It's you. You are amazing, and I would trade nothing in the world for you. You are fantastic, and I love you. I'm so happy you're here. And it's not fair that your mommy and your daddy aren't together anymore, but that wasn't about you. That was about us and where we were. And when you get older, I'll explain more. And so when you start to give a stronger story, and his 6-year-old brain goes, oh, okay, this makes more sense. And we start to move his identity away from behavior. Marilyn's that way. We begin to move the behavior further away, confidence can grow. Because he's not asking himself why. What do I want? How can I get there? I want to be more confident. I want to be more clear. I want to be more responsible. I want to be more accountable. I want to be prouder. Awesome. Those are all easy things to accomplish because now we know what you want. How to get there gets simple. And this is what I do for my clients, is they're in a hole, they're in a pit, and they're echo chamber of their brain of why, and they're echoing and they're manic sometimes, and they're overwhelmed and overloaded, and they're feeling the anxiety and anxiousness because why is this? Hey Richard, nice to see you, man. How is life? Haven't seen you since China so many years ago. But why is this? Stop. That question is meaningless and useless. Because even if you go through all of, take Simon Sinek's stuff and you go through it, right? Well, why do you want this? And then you ask why about the why. Then you ask the why of the why of the why. And you continue the 5 whys. We go through all the whys. What do you end up with? You end up with a what? Or you end up with a how. That's what you end up with. I want to make more money. Okay, why do you want to make more money? Well, if I have more money, then I'll have more freedom. Okay, why do you want freedom? Well, if I have more freedom, then I'll feel if you want, eventually you end up with a what and a how. It's just a longer way to get there. So let's just jump to the top of the ladder. Start with what and how. The why totally secondary and not even necessary sometimes. If you're stuck on a why, then you've got an existential issue, and we definitely need to talk. My roadmap call, it's a 2-part call. It will help to break apart what's going on. How are you getting yourself into a pattern of why? How are you getting stuck? And how do you stop it? How do you change it? How do you get to a better process? And then if it makes sense, we can talk about how I can help support you in that, and we can work together to get there, 90 days or less, most of my clients. So, first step, stop asking why. Why ask why? It used to be an old commercial. What and how, there is your power. And if this is something you're stuck with and you're not sure how to be more selective in your questions and more specific and more tactical and more strategic, you want better quality questions, let's talk. Get on a roadmap call with me. It's free. The first 20 minutes is just there to assess where are you at, what's going on, does it make sense? And how can I help you? And if it makes sense, then we'll explore the massive action plan. We'll put that together on the second call. It all starts free and easy. So just drop me a message, a DM. I'll stick a link in here right after this is live. You can get on my calendar. And you make it a fantastic day. Suffering is optional. You do not have to be there, my friend. I'm here to help you get out. You make it a great day. Enjoy the weekend. Oh, by the way, Mother's Day, tomorrow. You got plans? I got plans.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. Look at this beautiful lady right here. Hey, beautiful lady. All right.
Book a roadmap call. See you later.
Book a roadmap call. I'll see you later.